According to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, of the more than 25,000 cases of missing children in 2022, among those who are runaways were considered, 1 in 6 were likely victims of child sex trafficking.
And today we take a closer look at the efforts being made to stop these crimes in our state.
My name is Heather Miravilla. I am a survivor of human trafficking.
I'm always surprised with not just the legislators, but just elected officials, community members in general, just haven't been exposed or have knowledge of exactly what human trafficking looks like. Some of them have many misconceptions because of the entertainment industry kind of glamorizing both sex trafficking as well as labor trafficking. And so that's when we come in as an opportunity to provide education, awareness, and training.
We want people in the state of Indiana to know that human trafficking is a very real concern for the folks who live here.
Traffickers look like everyday people, and I think that's why it's so important to get educated and understand what the warning signs are.
The traffickers do a great job at selecting youth or people who don't have those safe people in their lives to know something's going wrong or that something is amiss.
I had a dysfunctional family. I was locked up for being a runaway, and the judge asked my mom and my stepfather at the time if they wanted me home. They said no. I found myself homeless, sleeping in the backseat of an abandoned car. I answered an ad in the paper. It was for a waitress job, but when I walked in, it was a strip club. That was my introduction into drugs, addiction, alcohol, learning how to hustle, learning how to sell myself with a smile. And at the age of 23, I decided I had had enough. If I was gonna stay, I was gonna die. I kind of just married out in a violent relationship. I birthed 6 children in that marriage. I decided I didn't want that no more. I moved me and all 6 of my kids down here. I didn't know what to do. I was literally raising children in survival mode. So I went back to the clubs and I went back to dancing. The ex-husband had came up here and decided that my life was a mess and he wanted his kids back. So he fought me and he took 4 of my children away. I was tired. I was absolutely tired. At the age of 40, I met a lady. She became my friend. She became my mentor. And for the last 11 years, she has been like a mom to me. With her help, I've been able to see myself in a different light. I've been able to realize that I have value.
Trust is really difficult to build with the youth that we serve. They're used to not being able to trust adults that should be safe for them. And that takes a while to show them that, yes, we're safe. And so it just it's about showing up every day. And it's about showing them that when you say something, that's what you mean, that's what you're gonna do, and you're never gonna put them in harm's way.
It's really difficult to work with people who have vulnerabilities, who have very real stories and emotions, and to kind of do that day in and day out can really take a toll on people. The people who are doing this work are truly heroes.
It is a very critically important time to be an advocate for young people. They are facing a plethora of issues, both here, statewide, and just across the nation.
We are training DCS, we are training law enforcement, we are training behavioral therapists.
Once I got educated and trained, I realized I missed the opportunity to help so many young people just because I simply was not educated. So I've made it my goal and passion to make sure that folks, they can actually have the education, the training, and the awareness to do something to eradicate this horrible crime.
I just don't want to see another kid exploited and their life ruined and them not believe in themselves enough to when they do get a certain age to fully live their life, that now it goes downhill instead of up.
Powerful. To hear Heather's full story, go ahead and grab your phone, scan the QR code. There it is on the bottom of your screen. That'll take you to the community section of our website, wishtv.com. That's where you can find all of the conversations.
And if you suspect a child is being trafficked, contact the Department of Child Services or local law enforcement.